Welcome to Deep Thought. Being in the moment and game. I know this is usually something for my relationship channels, but honestly, one of the things you have to get when you talk about any of this, everything is connected. People foolishly might try to compartmentalize things, but the things that you might hear me talk about on this channel can be applied to relationships, can be applied to business, can be applied to the relationships between you and non-sexual relationships between you and other people, right? It could be applied to how you make your money. So everything is doing it. Now, being in the moment, what do I say about the moment? You know, as I've said in several podcasts and videos in the past, people usually are doing one thing. They're thinking about the past, which can cause depression, or they're thinking about the future, which can cause anxiety. But people are rarely in the past. In fact, most people are sleepwalking because they're not paying attention. Because even if they ain't necessarily, thinking ahead or thinking in the past, they might be daydreaming about something totally else. That's why I said, because I still do it. It was one time I had to drive like a few miles from point A to point B, and I looked around. I was like, how I get here? Because I wasn't in the moment. Because if you do something enough, even driving, you become automatic. Like if your brain you driving, you see a red light or something, you automatically know to stop. Because there'd be some times I do something, I was like, did I actually do that? Right? Because I ain't in the moment. Now, what that got to do with game, right? Now, and this is more for the men. This is more for the men, even though, definitely ladies can chime in, right? Being in the moment just means paying attention. Like, many men aren't present with women when you're dealing with them. That's why a lot of dudes miss signals. Like, dudes think, when I talk about women choose the men, a lot of men really do think that woman's going to be blatant about it. Like, she just going to walk up and be like, hey, I want to make love to you, cute and all that. No, I'm going to tell you what, a woman's choosing signal can be like very subtle, very brief. It could be just a slight smile. It could be a slight dilation of her eyes, a raising of her eyebrows. It could be just a brief second when she's pointing her body to you. It could be just a brief stroke of her hair or something, or a brief twitch around her pelvic region, right? It could be very subtle. It could be under a second. But that if a man, like most men, going to miss it. But if he's in the moment and he's paying attention to her, boom, he'll see it. In fact, a tantra master, I had a workshop with a tantra master. He said one thing you got to do, because of what we're doing here, you have to pay attention to everything that this woman is doing, right? Because part of what he was doing, he had his fingers on her eyelid, right? And he said, yes, you have to pay attention because you turn either way, that could hurt her eyes or something, or I could poke something, right? So being in the moment, and women can do this too. Women, this ain't limited to women. But, it's just paying attention to little things, little twitches, little smiles, everything. And that's one thing I'll do. I learned to do. I'll pay attention to little things, voice tones, body language, everything, right? But in order to do that, you can't be thinking agenda. Like a big problem with a lot of men is they see that beautiful woman and they're already thinking about the positions. They're already thinking, okay, they either thinking about how they going to get her in bed or, honestly, how they going to reject her. Now, that issue we will discuss more on my men's channel, right? But, instead of just being in the moment, like a mentor used this example, right? Say a woman's on a bus or something, a man's sitting there, and she runs out of ink in her pen or something. She asks if she can use your pen to write something real quick, right? Most guys, they're going to think, oh, man, this real beautiful woman asked me for a pen. They already think about their lines. Okay, how can I do this cool? What can I say to her and everything, right? They ain't in the moment. She might just want the damn pen and that's it. Right? Now, somebody in the moment would just hand her the pen without thinking about it and let things flow. See what happens then. Because the man who's thinking about all the moves and stuff and just simply hand her the pen, he might do something awkward or stupid. And then the woman's like, damn, let me get the pen from someplace else. He might say something like try to say, yeah, yeah, that pen, I got another pen, baby, or something. Actually, some guys would be that corny. But you're paying attention. A lot of dudes don't pay attention, or even what they're saying. Like, a lot of dudes want to, know what a woman's mood is or something. A lot of times, they'll tell you. A lot of times, they see a dude looking for certain words and trigger words and stuff. And this was why, when I do any coaching, I don't give anybody any specific techniques. But I do tell them to be in the moment, pay attention. All right? Because a lot of times, if your mind is already thinking towards something else, your mind's only going to focus towards anything related to what you want it to be instead of what she's actually saying. That woman could be saying, for example, she might just be doing very subtle stuff, right? But then if you were to ask that woman at that moment, hey, you want to go out? She'd be like, okay. You could say, hey, you want to go back to my place? Okay. Because she's doing those subtle things. But at the same time, because she might seem real friendly and stuff and talking, right? And you're thinking to yourself, oh man, let me I'm gonna take this woman back to my place and stuff, right? Because you're not paying attention that even while she's smiling, she got her arms going across her chest, or that her body is pointed away from you, right? Now, for those who might be experienced, they know that's pretty much, the woman's pretty much saying, I'm being polite to you because, hey, I'm a friendly person, or either that, or they being polite to you because they think you crazy and it's easier just to humor you until they can get away. And that happens with a lot of dudes. A lot of dudes I asked actually said they were smiling and all of that. What was the rest of her doing? How was she smiling? There's a lot of women who will smile instinctively at a man who looks at them. If they see a man catch eyes, they instinctively smile, but it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean. In fact, some women might purposely frown or something. They may train themselves to frown. It don't mean everything, because you got to look at the smile, her eyes, body language, right? But in order to do any of that, you got to be in the moment. You can't be thinking about the last 15 women that rejected you. And you can't be thinking about or what could possibly happen. You got to be there and look exact. Just sit there and be like, all right. Yeah. All right, girl. You got to be sitting there chilling like a villain, right? You got to be in that moment, right? And I'm going to tell you what, it really is powerful because there's so much you could see. I mean, there's so many things I've seen, I checked out. It's amazing. And it's part of the dance too, because it actually has the capability of getting a woman's attention, getting her, being able to really deal with her, right? Here's why I say that, right? Here's why I say, and this is what makes it powerful. Many women, they want that. See, the way women work, they want a man to interpret their signal. That's why you get some women who be like, expecting you to read their mind. And realistically they don't, but they want a man who can read their signals, because women are indirect, right? They want, it's hard. A natural woman isn't really that aggressive, right? With it, just to say what they want. I know guys want them to, but to be direct and say what's on your mind, that's more of a masculine thing. And last time I've been hearing, many men been complaining about women being masculine. So sometimes you got to pay attention to that other thing. And especially in this age of Me Too and everything, you really got to pay attention. Despite what they saying, you gotta be looking. If I'm talking to a woman, I get the slightest indication that it's a no-go. I don't care what else she's saying. I don't care how much she's smiling at me. I'm like, nah, I gotta get. I'm looking at you. Nah, I'm like, nah, your body ain't turned towards me. It's like, nah, I ain't messing with you. So anyway, be in that moment. All right, very important. Being in the now. So anyway, that's all I got for y'all. Peace and blessings.